Hello, I'm Taryn Higashi. I'm the Executive Director of Unbound Philanthropy, and we're a family foundation that supports work to help immigrants and refugees in the United States and the United Kingdom at this time build better and safer lives for themselves and to encourage host communities to develop forward-looking and responsive policies. I've been involved with GCIR since I entered the world of immigration philanthropy in about 1994 when I was hired by Jane Stern, who was one of the founding members of GCIR. And I was hired to work at the New York Community Trust on the Fund for New Citizens, which is the oldest funding collaborative in the country that supports immigrant and refugee communities in New York State. I then went to work at the Ford Foundation for Mary McClymont, who was another of the founding members of GCIR, taking stewardship over the immigrant and refugee human rights portfolio that the Ford Foundation and Mary builds. And while I was at the Ford Foundation for 11 years, I became a board member and a board co-chair of GCIR. So GCIR has been an essential part of my work, really since I began in this field. The task for us at the New York Community Trust and at the Ford Foundation when I was there was really to make long-term investments, working in close partnership with other foundations to help build immigrant and refugee policy and advocacy and membership institutions that could be responsive to different opportunities and crises as they arose, and over time build an ever larger and stronger base of support and power for the community. To do that kind of long-term field building work, a critical mass of foundation partners are needed. And to build that critical mass in collaboration, common interests need to be identified and supported and understood so that everybody gains, everybody learns, everybody becomes stronger. GCIR is a crucial partner in this work because it builds relationships and it provides an unimpeachable base of research and knowledge of best practices. I have always been able to work with GCIR and rely on GCIR to provide me with information about who is thinking about similar issues, who is trying to achieve comparable goals, who I can learn from. And when there's a collective need for research or information on best practices, or to go make a site visit to a different part of the country, GCIR has helped organize this in such a skillful way. I guess another way of saying this is that GCIR has really helped to mainstream immigration and refugee concerns within philanthropy. When I started out in this field in 1994, only a tiny handful of foundations had self-described immigration or immigrant or refugee programs. The foundations that joined GCIR and joined this movement, this social movement, did so through various different avenues, some coming through the children, youth, and families lens, others through education, others through civic participation, others through health and healthy communities, some through arts, many through a concern for low-wage workers and worker justice and workers' rights, yet others through the lens of racial justice or intergroup relations. And the commitment and philosophy and vision of GCIR has been to grow with this understanding that immigrants and refugees and immigration and refugee policies have ripple effects and broad ramifications for all of these different ways of working in the world to make it better and working in the communities to make them better. That is, kind of fundamentally what I value about GCIR and how I see it continuing to work as it moves forward. At Unbound, Philanthropy is a global foundation, and we support work outside of the United States as well as inside of the United States. And a new partnership for me at Unbound with GCIR is really sharing lessons that immigrant communities and immigrant leaders and immigration organizations in this country have learned with organizations and leaders and funding partners in the United Kingdom, where Unbound Philanthropy also is developing programs. It's very exciting to see GCIR, play that transatlantic teaching role, which GCIR began in 2005 or 2006 with a transatlantic learning exchange that engaged several foundations from a number of different countries. For GCIR to continue to be on the cutting edge of all of these complicated developments in immigrants and refugees' lives and in immigration and refugee policy, it should continue to build on what it does best, which is to listen with big ears, be responsive to the complex needs of its very diverse foundation members where they are, and then to help everybody see what their common interests are and to give us courage to tackle always controversial issues in a brave and forward-looking manner, to give us the tools of expertise, of data, knowledge, analysis, information, and to give us the sense of solidarity and funding in partnership with good and thoughtful and well-informed people working together to try and make a positive difference for immigrants and for everybody else, for host communities.